Isolation breeds elevation. Man, good homie here at the gym. My man Steve, what's up, dude? Business owner, entrepreneur. Man, we just, you get to rapping when you walk by. Guys you respect and like and do business with, live with. And he walked by and he said, man, that isolation breeds elevation. And I was like, damn, fire. But break that down. Break it all the way down. What does he actually mean by that, man? We've talked about it before. It was that isolation piece, that piece of the equation that's super important. But it's what you do during that matters, right? You have that isolation, but there's people that squander that isolation by, man, not resetting, not rewiring those pathways, not changing those habits. All these pieces are massively important, and then you got to hit the reps. You have to hit the repetitions. If you don't do that during that period of isolation, man, you're not going anywhere. If anything, you're going down. So let's break it down. What's he talking about? That isolation breeds elevation. Man, it's my submission that, man, if you're isolating, you've already elevated. People think about that, those times in the past where they've been isolated and that phone's not ringing, that the girls aren't calling, man, you don't have any money, you can't go nowhere, maybe you're incarcerated, or in a foreign legion in my case, or incarcerated and a foreign legion in my case. Man, you were going down and you were at the bottom, man, when you were surrounded by people, surrounded by the wrong people. That's when you were at the bottom. If you've isolated and things have simplified and that storm has started to cool, I got news for you, man. You're already 3 levels up. You're already 3 levels up, man. You're on the way back up. You've pushed off the bottom. That isolation piece, right? When God wants to make a man great, he isolates him. It's biblical, man. Look at every great story, man. You go off into the desert, man, or go into some foreign country, man, or incarceration. Or just losing everything, man, going out in the woods, right? What does it do, though? What is that isolation? First, it strips down a lot of variables. It strips down a lot of noise. It forces one into those deep states of self-reflection. You can get honest when you're isolated. Distraction, people, places, things. They're all those shiny objects, man, and it's stopping you from getting honest with self. It's hindering you. It's very important that during those periods of isolation, when you've been hitting those reps, doing the right things, building those good habits, really re-understanding self, redefining how you see yourself. Because it's very difficult to reset those pathways. Constantly bombarded with the same shit. You need fresh shit. You need fresh thoughts. Thoughts are the ancestor to every action. What you think about becomes real. So, man, if you're in those deep states of self-reflection, thinking about ways to get better, ways things went wrong, ways to recorrect the path, new things to bring in, how to strip away old things. What are you doing? It's just constant thought process of self-development and progress and evolution. When you're surrounded by people, man, and you're distracted, bro, you're not evolving. It's also too comfortable. Darwin said it best, man. No evolution happens in comfort. Friction. Isolation forces friction. It forces one to be uncomfortable. People go, I like being alone. Man, you like being alone, man, on the weekends. I'm talking about years of isolation. I'm talking about really forced isolation. Sometimes you need it. It's not just about having some you time. It's not what we're talking about, man. Something deeper than that. Guys, know what I'm talking about. When you've lost everything, man, You're like a leper, bro. People don't want to be around you. Good. They're the wrong people anyway. We don't want them. We need time to think. We need time to strategize, systemize, get shit right, get shit tight. It's important, man. Use those periods of isolation, and sometimes you need to force it. If you're smart enough to not be incarcerated, or smart enough to not have to run off into the Foreign Legion, man, and have those gnarly periods of isolation, guess what, man? You got to trim some fat. You got to trim some shit off, bro, if the shit's not going right. Man, it could be family. It could be places. There's almost assuredly definitely things. It's old thought processes. It's old habits. You got to strip it away. It's difficult to change when you're surrounded by other people, because you're also surrounded by their old understanding of you. So not only do you have to change your shit, now you got to change the way they perceive you, so they're not throwing their fucked up chi into your Kool-Aid. There's just too extra shit going on that you don't need. That forced isolation can be as simple as, bro, you ain't missing nothing on the weekend. If you're constantly going into these cycles of self-sabotage and even micro self-sabotages, right, on the weekends, and it takes you to Wednesday to get your shit straight, man, and then you're feeling good, and then you're back on it on Friday. Man, even that. Cut the phone. People gonna ask what you doing. Man, you got shit to do. Man, you got to get right. The ones that matter will understand. The ones that don't matter, fuck them. You don't need it. You may need to change locations. You may need to change jobs. Anything that's not working for you, man. If it's in your head that it might need changing, it probably does. If you can do it surrounded by people, man, and good on you. I have found it extremely difficult. That isolation breeds elevation. So you're in that period of isolation. Sit with it. Recognize it for the level up that it is. It's not a bad thing. Take that tactical pause. Man, appreciate that silence, because when you start to level up, man, and elevate and get better, and the money comes, the body comes, man, all extra distractions are coming. Every level up, you're going to have more distractions. So you better root those habits deep when it's simple. Spoke at a prison out in Idaho recently. We'll have a YouTube dropping on it in a few weeks. Man, but I was like, look, man, if this is the time to get right in this period of isolation, get the reps in and root the habits deep. Root the understanding of you, the new understanding of you, deep. So that when you get out and it is more complicated, you have more responsibilities, more distractions, bro, you already have your system set up. That's why you're never going to rise to the occasion. You're always going to fall back to the strength of your systems. So get a good system. Like I always say, man, if you need a good system, we got one for you. Reach out, don't be shy, man. All the contact information is in the descriptions. Stop waiting. Build your systems in now. If you're looking around, man, and you're like, man, my money's fucked up, I'm isolated, I need to get better. Good. I don't care if you're living at your mom's house, man. This is the time. Perfect. You don't have all that extra distraction. Even if you got a wife, kids, whatever, man, trim off all the other stuff. Focus on only what matters. Self-development and your family. Taking care of business, taking care of yourself, right? Because you can't take care of anybody if you can't take care of yourself. Hit the reps. Root the systems. Root the understanding of self. When you come out, man, the distractions come, you know who you are, so you're not going to break. You know where you stand, where you came from, because you've done tons of self-reflection. True peace and clarity come from an understanding of self. The time to do that is in a period of isolation. You can't do that with everybody fucking chatty Cathys all around you running their suck. So let's get it right. Let's get it tight. It's the time to do it, man. Use that period of isolation for that elevation, man. Be smart. Out here.